get started, I wanted to just run through everything that comes with the game because it has been a while and the other video sound quality might not be so great, but this, every now and then it'll ask you to roll a number die, so that's what that is for. And these are the main part of way you handle encounters in this game. You always get to roll this die, no matter if your total ability power comes to 0. You still get to roll this one for free every time. These are random. This here, the gun is a success, and you have an injury, a heal, and bad omens, bad things will happen. And you can see that these different dice have different, there's a 3-4 gun die right there, but the failure is 2 injuries rather than just 1. So all the dice have different chances, different probabilities to succeed, and they go in the bag, and you'll draw one randomly if you decide to add it. And it's a nice little bag it came with. So this one will stay out. This one you always get to use. You have all kinds of stuff. We have all these different heroes. You have little standees. These are, it's got cool pictures on them, but there we go. Is Agent L39, and these are kind of flimsy, but cool artwork. It has everything on it and stuff, and it has little standees for them. Tons of intel tokens. You'll see those coming into the game, and you have 4 different types. You have technology, nuclear, then you have a double agent spying for you, and then weapons. Okay, we're trying to collect those during the game. Top secret mission cards. I'm just using an old box to store the different decks in. So here we have statuses. Okay, no need to shuffle those, because if we earn a status, we'll get a specific status out of the deck. Okay. Here we have villain cards and our fate deck. This will definitely have to shuffle. This will determine anything random that happens in the game. You use the fate deck. And these are the when bad things happen. Okay. And of course I don't have them all facing the same direction, but deal with that later. Let's see what we have here. This is your story deck. All right. These are broken into different regions of the map. So the Americas, I think I have them already separated. Yes. Europe and Asia. Uh-oh. And someone is texting me. Then there's Africa and South America. Alright, so I'll deal with all that later. Have a bunch of these things, and you'll probably hear me complain about these during the game. These are tiny. Sometimes airports will be forced to shut down. Okay, I don't know. Those are tiny, and I don't know if there's a better way they could have done it. Now you can probably see the glare on the board. It has a nice finish. You might could use a dry erase marker, but I don't want to risk it. I don't want to try that. Then we have some injury tokens and UN transports. So this will get you around the map pretty much anywhere you want really quick, and they're really handy late in the game as a bunch of airports close down. Then you have your skill tokens. So you can be good at electronics or lockpicking and such like that. So we'll go through that more in detail as we get into the game. Over here we have the evil villain track. So let me get his pawn out. Just a big giant pawn. And it starts right here. If it ever reaches level 9, even in the middle of a player's turn, the game immediately ends and all players lose. And then we have different tokens. Black cubes for the villains here. Okay. Now I really wish this game would get another print update. I'll show you this real quick. It is a really cool game, and I think you will enjoy it, but there are some minor mistakes. These boxes here aren't even the same size on all of them, and in this one here, they forgot to put a box there. It's not a huge deal. Okay, it's not a huge deal at all, but there are some mistakes, and there is a small mistake in the instruction book. When you get to the next to last page, in the field manual here, says this is what you do in a special instance if something's not listed here, and it ends. They don't. So that's not listed right before this, and so. But anyway, here we have fate card elements with a picture of the fate card, and then they go through the elements again. So this part here is redundant, but like I said, minor things. It's still a really cool game, works well. You can play this multiplayer, but we're going to play it solo, of course. So here's our big book of encounters. So if you've ever played Tales of the Arabian Nights or anything like that, all right. So I just wanted to run through that real quick. Let's get going on the game. So this is who we are going to be this game, Dexter Kane. And the reason, since I'm playing solo player, I wanted to do him. Most of the other characters have a 2 in one skill and a 0 in something else, where he's a jack of all trades. So we never have to worry about having a 0, which can be good, can be bad. We'll see. And then 6 resolve. He has a lot of resolve because he can actually spend 2 on a turn. So this can be a little cumbersome because it can be knocked around kind of easily. So I may end up fixing this the same way I did Tales of the Arabian Nights. But here we have, if I can get it on camera for us, the advanced skills. Let's see here. Raise the camera up a little. So everyone gets to start with 2. Dexter gets to start with 3. So we have gambling and luck, driving and piloting, stealth, seduction, speed, weapon use, lockpicking, electronics, adventure, detection, and disguise. And it tells you what they do, and they're all pretty self-explanatory. But since we are playing Dexter, I like to try to role play this a little bit. So I'm going to start with electronics. So if we come across some electronic devices during an encounter, we can pass automatically. Lock picking to go along with the electronics, and then stealth. He looks like a normal average guy, and he's able to just blend in with the crowd. So let's try that. All right. Then we need the fate deck for locations. So we just do a quick shuffle, and the only part of the card we are worried about is the location, Athens in Europe and Cairo in Africa. Now, if he can make his way to one of those locations, you do not even have to have an encounter there and pass the encounter. If you can get to that city, you can immediately turn this in. Then at the end of your turn, you get your reward, because your encounter could say, oh, you receive hot information, go to this location and on the trail of one of the villains or something, and it'll move you out of the city, but it does not prevent you from turning this in, meeting your contact, and getting your bonus before then. All right, let's look at some more stuff we need to do for setup. Now, Dexter starts here in the Congo Basin. Now, if you notice, this region has two blue arrows kind of going out of it, but it does not have any lines connecting to it, just arrows out. The only way to ever get into a region like the Congo Basin or the Alps is if an encounter tells you to move there, you've been taken hostage, or you're on the trail of something and you go there, you can only move there, and then your next turn you must move out. But he does start there. Okay, so there he is. Then in the solo player, we need to put some, oh, here's the cubes for the bad guys. We need to put some intel to start on the board. Now, I just have the intel here. The intel stays face down. There will be some instances where it'll tell you to flip it over and look at it, and you can do that. But you'll just move it over here into an intel pool. But if you flip it over, if you ever flip it over, it stays up for the rest of the time, game. That way, let's say it was weapons. You got a cache of weapons, and they're in your possession. Well, the bad guys could steal it back. Well, you know that's weapons. You can track it down and get those weapons, and you can follow the paper trail to kind of find them. So, but you've already acquired it and seized it, and you know it's weapon, so it'll stay turned up the rest of the game. Otherwise, it doesn't. Here's the airport closing tokens. So we need 3 Georgetown in South Africa. So we just randomly take one. Doesn't matter. I've tried to mix these up and not look. Georgetown in South Africa. So, and why am I South America? That would help. There we go. And Reykjavik in Europe. So that is up there just off camera. There we are. And let's see, this one, Mexico City in Central America. So let's just grab this one. So it looks like I'm going to be heading this way to get some intel as quick as I can. All right, so I'm going to stick those back in the deck and give it a shuffle. Okay, we'll need to keep that handy because that will be used all the time for anything that is random related. Now, excuse me, since we are playing solo, we get to start with a combination total of 3 UN transports or top secret cards combined. Okay, so I could get 1 UN transport or 2 top secret cards or all 3 top secret cards, whatever. And those are pretty handy. Those are pretty awesome. And so I think I'm going to get at least 2 of these and then 1 UN token so that I can just fly straight over to get some intel. Start getting some intel on what the evil mastermind Dr. Lobo is up to so we can stop him. So, infiltration. Before rolling a die, I can gain +1 to my test. Or, after a failed test roll, I can re-roll a single die and discard after use. So this is kind of like a free, almost like another resolve. Let's see what I get here. Ooh, the V1. Let's see. Shuffle together all villain advancement cards in play on Dr. Lobo. Randomly discard 1 card, then adjust the number on the villain track. So I can use it at any time and discard. All right, this is great. You'll see as we play, when we fail and the evil mastermind Dr. Lobo advances on the track, some cards will be a +1, some will be a 0. There are a couple of 2s in there. Well, we could have a chance to lower that. And if he draws a 2 right off the gate, then we could use this. He only has 1 card to get rid of, and we could force him to get rid of that, so that would be cool. And then I will take 1 UN transport. I'm probably going to use it right away on the first turn. Then, to finish setup, let's see. We have to remove some of the villain advancements. We'll do that. Choose 2 henchmen to start the game at level 2. 2 henchmen. Well, we have the 4 henchmen up here. Let me see if we can. There we are. Now I showed you this one was missing a little block or square. That's fine. So we have these. So let's just do this, and this will be a level 2. And that's my location tracker. I'll do that in a moment. And let's see, who is this? Mr. Big. So Mr. Big starts at level 2. And Darling. Okay. So now we need to mix all of these back together. Try not to look at them. Okay. And I will leave those here. All right. This goes just down here. So, to end the game, and I am sorry about the glare, not much I can do about that. I'm even filming at an angle, but in a 1-player game, we need to get a location intelligence of at least level 3, and that is by locating some of his henchmen, tracking them down, encountering them. It starts off actually off the track, so just anywhere. But you have to get the intelligence location moved up and have enough intelligence to counteract what Dr. Lobo is up to, and we'll get into that during the game. And that brings us to the villain deck, and oh, there you can see there's a nasty 2 right there. So, in the solo player, we need to remove any advancement cards with injury or a -1 here. There's a -1, injury, injury, -1. Oh, that's bad, because the -1s actually mean his track moves back. Those are good for us. And let's see what else. 3 more random cards with a number 1. Oh, 3 more cards with a number 1. Wow. Oops. So, not look at those. There's 1. Not even going to look at them when I put them away. 2 and 3. And now let's slide these 2s in. So this deck is mostly 2s now. Ouch. So that V1 card that we've got to start the game is really going to come in handy. Okay. Okay, and I'll set that up over near Dr. Lobo, and I think we are ready to start. All right, we are back, and I think we are ready to go. And as stated earlier, I will use that free UN token I started with to move Dexter. You can move out of these regions using UN tokens, but like I said, you can never move into them. And you can move to anywhere on the board, so let's just go to Georgetown. Okay, we don't look at that, and we do not pick it up yet. I'm going to end my turn there to have an encounter. So I am in the South America region, so I will draw a South American card. And oh, it looks like someone's being tortured. I hope it's not me. Torture 25, and then it says response group G. So we get a response chart. I can taunt, overreact, stay calm, cry, blend in, stay out, or laugh at. Well, since I have stealth, let's see if I can blend in. Maybe I can sneak up past the guards. Um, something. So let's try blend in. Because with this game, you have these special abilities, and the stories relate much more closely to your special abilities than Arabian Nights, which is just a fun little random romp. So here we go. Let's try to blend in. That's 5. So 25, 5. Okay. 25, 5. Then you draw a fate card. And since I have intel there, it says right here, no intel with intel. Okay? Right there. So 25, 5, 4. 25, 5, 4. Let's take a look. All right. Now, since we chose the intel, usually the encounters will be just a little bit harder than without intel, but we immediately get to use that token on the board for whatever we want to do. So I'll go to that in a moment when we start the next turn. So 25, 5, 4. 25, 5, 4. And of course, it's at the bottom of the page. Okay. When you finally escaped from your SMERSH torturers, you found yourself in an enormous field that stretches as far as the eye can see. You have maybe 10 minutes before they realize you are gone, but you are in no state to run. You see a group of migrant workers in the distance picking vegetables. You can test deception at a -1, and you pass with adventuring or disguise. Are you kidding me? Oh, so, and there's no other choice. Some will give you 2 choices, but nope, this one. So test deception -1. All right. Now what that means is my deception is a 1. So -1 would be 0. That means I can draw no extra dice out of the bag. I can only use the the die I start with. But I can use a resolve if I want to add 1 die to this result. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll spend 1 resolve. One of his special abilities is that you can actually use 2 for an encounter. Other people can't. So I'm going to spend a resolve to draw a die. Now, here is the die we start with. And then we just randomly take one, and they have different percentages to pass. Oh, it's not very good. 1 in 6, but no injuries. So I'm not going to be injured, although I was tortured, so I don't understand that. All right. Let's go. We need a gun. No. Now, if I had taken an injury, I could heal. But I did not. And I could also use a resolve to re-roll a die, but I'm not going to because each one of these is only a 1 in 6 chance to pass. I just drew bad. And I rolled bad. So let's see. Pass. Nope, nope, nope. Fail. Although you have dressed as raggedly as the impoverished workers, your capture still managed to pick you out. Lose an advanced skill and get 1 injury. Oh, no way. Okay, so I gained 1 injury. He has 3 hit points before he is knocked out and needs to go to the hospital and to recruit. You can rest to remove 2, but you have to have at least 2 to rest. So right now he only has 1, and in a solo player, resting is about as bad as being knocked out because Lobo still advances. Then I have to lose one of my advanced skills. Well, stealth, you did not do me well, so let's just lose that. Okay. Now, since we lost an encounter, we draw a villain card. Let's see what the villain is up to. The USS Sylvania disappears without a trace. What? Now, he advances 2, 1, 2. So, some of his scheme is coming together. And if you notice, Dr. Lobo has 2 gun icons beside him. He has acquired some weapons, perhaps the USS Sylvania. But if the game were to end now, we would need intel to match these icons to win. So that's why you want to gather as much intel as you can as quick as you can. Okay? End of turn, you always draw a card and then you read the end of turn. So this one here. Crown jewels were stolen. Violence erupts in Trafalgar Square. Add intel in Stockholm. Alright, so we just randomly grab 1 and we'll put that there. And the airport closes in Reykjavik. So let's make a discard pile for that. Put one of these tiny tokens right there beside that intel. Now, if you notice, New York is in red letters and has a red plane symbol. It might be hard to see, but that airport can never close for any reason, and there are a few of those around the map. All right, so I forgot to move the intel. Even though I failed the encounter, I chose to go for the intel, and I did acquire it. So it goes into the pool, but I don't get to look at it. All right, now I have 2 movement, so Mexico City, and I am going to do intel again. It will be a slightly harder encounter, but there we go. Now, if you notice that card I drew told me to put intel on the board. In a 1 to 3 player game, you can only have 5 on the board. And as soon as you hit over 5, you wipe the entire board of all intel. It goes back over here into the reserve. And yeah, that you don't want that to happen. So, all right, let's see. Mexico City. So now that is a red circle, so it is counted as part of the South American encounters. So I have an interrogation, 15. Response group F. All right. Response group F. Let's see. Negotiate, sneak attack, reason with, act unconcerned, lie, or be honest. I don't know if I'm being such a good spy if I'm constantly getting captured. How did I get away from my captors? Oh well. Let's see. Not gonna try the sneak attack. I no longer have stealth. That worked out so well. Let's just be honest. What could that hurt us, right? Honesty is the best policy. So that is 15, 6, and we draw a fate card, and 5. An extremely dangerous convict is brought to you, wrapped in a straitjacket. He is a scientist known to work for the highest bidder. He is also a psychopath, but he is the only man you know who might be able to explain the device you found on the dead CIA agent. Even Dr. FX is baffled by it. You decide to be absolutely honest with the man, or he will not talk. I can't offer you much in return. Maybe I can have books sent to your cell. But just once, do the right thing and tell me what this is. You place the device onto the table. He peers down at it and then back at you. test persuasion -1, or pass with gambling. And that's the only options I have. So persuasion -1. Well, of course my persuasion is a 1, so I only get 1 die. Let's spin the resolve and draw another die. So have that, and I put the other die in the bag. You always put the dice back in the bag when you're done, except for this one. Yes. Oh, I could get knocked out, but this has a 4 in 6 chance of succeeding. All right, and we only need 1 success. Let's go. No! Absolutely the worst thing I could do. So I'm going to spend a resolve and re-roll a die, because Dexter can actually spend 2 in 1 turn. If I took this, I would be knocked out, and Dr. Lobo would get to advance even more. Come on. There we go. Yes. All right. You decide to give him more information than you probably should about UN operations. It's not like he's going anywhere, right? The risk pays off, and let's see if I can get this back up here. All right. He explains that the component is part of a larger device to control any aircraft remotely from hundreds of miles away. Gain insight. Right. Insight. When you go with your gut, it always pays off. Anytime you gain intel from any source, you may roll a d6 for each intel. On a 1 or 2, you may flip up that intel. Ooh, nice. I can discard it to reroll all dice in a spycraft test if I fail. But that's a one-time use discard. This insight is, yeah, having the chance to turn over intel for the rest of the game is amazing. Yeah. All right, way to go, Dexter. That was great. Now, end of turn, whether you succeed or fail, you always draw an evil villain card and see what they're up to. And you read the end of turn. UN building in Paris attacked by long-range missiles. Well, I wonder where they came from. Possibly a stolen USS destroyer or something. All right. Remove intel from Europe. Add intel in New Orleans. Well, that's right next door to me. So I will just go ahead and do that. Slide that right up there. Now, this here, remove intel from Europe. So you have to remove all intel in Europe. And in this game on this board, Europe is all of the yellow regions. So that'll include Stockholm and Reykjavik. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Let's kind of mix these up a little bit. And just a side note, Asia, Russia is considered to be part of Asia in this game. It has the purple circles, but it also has the sickle and hammer in it with the train icon to kind of designate that it's also just Russia. So when you have an encounter card, you draw from the Asia deck, but if a card refers to the Russian region, it's just this. And it also has a train for faster travel. All right, so since that intel popped up, let's just move to New Orleans and add it to the pool, and we'll use our insight to roll a d6, and that's where this comes in. On a roll of a 1 or 2, we get to flip it up. Come on. Yes! Dexter! And we have located a double agent who has given us information. Now, we don't need a double agent, you notice, unless, let's see if I can slide the camera over a bit. If he reaches level 4, then we will need that double agent to work for us to help take him down. Okay, these are color coded. There's a brownish, yellowish color, then there's the red nuclear, blue for weapons, and green for tech. So yes, way to go, Dexter. All right, but now we need an encounter, and now we are in the North American bluish rings. So we have under surveillance 06, response group A. Ooh. So it looks like we are under surveillance. So we can try to escape, confront, be reckless, wait it out, challenge, be careful, or be spontaneous. Well, don't have very good hand-to-hand or weapons, so I don't want to challenge. Let's go with be spontaneous. Why not? That sounds fun. So it'll be 7, 6, 7, and with intel is a 2. Local official feeds you information about a possible SMERSH agent within the government. You watch the suspect for several days, tracking his movements, but notice nothing out of the ordinary. You meet your informer on a street corner that evening to get new information. When your intuition kicks you in the gut, you can't prove it, but you believe the informer is working against you. Not sure if it is the right thing to do, you fire a string of questions at him. What? Oh, that's the wrong card there. So 6, 7, 2. I tried to avoid hand-to-hand, but it's a +2. So my hand-to-hand is a 1. I could draw possibly 3 more die from the bag. All right. Now, I'm going to draw 1. That is a 50-50 chance. That's not bad. I think I'll draw 1 more. There we go. No injuries. I think I'll stop there. Let's see if we can do this. No, of course not. And I got 2 injuries, so which one of these do I want to re-roll? This one has the better chance, so I will spend a resolve. And I'm almost out of resolve already. Yes! How dare you suspect me, he yells back. He kicks mud at you, splashing your Italian shoes. Now you're convinced he's a SMERSH agent. You react by jumping on him, tying him to a pipe, and taking out your rage on him. He fesses up, crying that he needed the money. Advanced skill. Yes, we can get an advanced skill. What do you think, guys? Stealth didn't seem to work for me very well last time. And that hand-to-hand just did. Maybe we can get some weapon use. Let's go with weapon use. I'm going to grab weapon use. Weapon use is not just firearms, but using anything as a weapon. And we just did. Yes. Dexter's on a roll. Okay, end of turn. Bomb detonates inside White House, killing First Lady. What? We must remove all intel in North America. Well, we just got the last piece, so nothing. Add intel in Ceylon. Now, this is one thing I do kind of wish they did on this game. All the bad stuff that happens is in red, all the good stuff is in blue, that's fine. Every now and then, it'll actually tell you, like, the region Russia or USSR. But that's about the only region that it tells you where it's at on the board. So they either should do this color by the color of the region or put the region out beside all of them. But anyway, not bad. Not bad at all. All right, Dexter, what are you going to do now? Let's see. We can get closer to Cairo and Athens are both right side by side, and there's not really any more intel on the board anywhere close to us. So we have to head that way anyway. So let's just go. Let's just go here and stop. If you start your turn on an airport, then you can fly. But you got to think about checking in, getting your baggage, waiting, and then when you land, waiting to get your baggage and all that. So that's basically all of your movement. So I'm going to stop in Miami, and then hopefully Cairo will not close. If it does, I'll have to fly to Rome. So I'm hoping Cairo doesn't close. And I meant to check. Nope, no airport closed on that last card, so we are good. All right. So we are still in North America. Call to action. Roll a d6. All right. Not going to look at the card before I roll. Let's just see what we get. A 3. Conduct battle with Pierre. Well, that's great. Or before rolling the d6, you may elect to take 1 injury to escape and immediately draw a new encounter card.